Hello guys, and welcome to another episode with me, Mr. Smart Hub, and our channel is called Thriving SMEs. Remember, we're all about helping small and micro enterprises thrive here at Smart Hub Consulting. Today's episode, I think, is the last on when you're looking at the different types of businesses that one can register and operate here in Kenya. So we are going to the last type of business, and of the different, now the three that we've already talked about, the two that we've already talked about early in our channel, you can go and listen to the different videos on the different businesses that you can already do. But today I want us to look at what is called a sole proprietor business. And to go direct into it, this is what you can call is the simplest form of a business that one can register in Kenya. And first of all, I'll start by explaining the different features or the different, the salient features of a sole proprietor business. And to define it, as the word sole means one, and proprietor means owner. So it's a business that is owned by a single individual. This single individual can be a he, can be a she. As long as it's a Kenyan who is over 18 years, they can register this form of business. So the following are the features that you'd really, for you to help you to make that decision that will, they concern a sole proprietor business. One is what you talked about. It's a business owned by a single individual. It's one business, one owner. So that's why you call it a sole proprietor, meaning one owner. So it's owned by a single individual, not two, not three, not more than one, just a single individual. Then another thing is the person who owns a sole proprietor has the complete control over the affairs of the business. I'm Mr. X. I own X enterprises. So everything to do with X is all about me. There's no another person. Maybe you would hire a manager, but the ownership and the control of the business is under the owner, the direct owner of the business. Okay? Then another thing when you talk about a sole proprietor is about the owner is all liable for all the liabilities, the debt, and any obligation that falls due on that business. Okay? For liabilities, like for example, you breach of contract, you own a vehicle, maybe you're involved in an accident, you need to compensate someone, the liabilities are totally on you. The debts that a business incurs, you owe your creditors, you're still liable to repay. And also the obligation, what is the business obliged, or what are they the tax obligation, the different compliance issues. The business owner is the one that is liable, or the owner is the one that is liable for all the obligations. So everything revolves around the single owner. Another thing, maybe a good feature about this is the owner is the one that enjoys all the profits. The profit at whatever end of the period, you enjoy it 100% without sharing it with anyone, because you totally own the business. So all the profits are attributable to you. You don't share it with anyone, you enjoy it 100%. Then on the flip side of that, the opposite of that, you also bear all the losses. Enjoy all the profits, and at the same time, you bear all the losses. So that is another feature of bearing the losses. Should you incur losses, maybe in the course of doing business or any other form of a loss, the owner of the business is the one that bears the losses. And maybe something that is important to mention when you talk about losses, or what we call the liability, is you also have what is called unlimited liability. If you remember, if you can listen to our video about a limited liability business, we said the limitation to which you can only go to the extent of your shareholding and all that. But now when you come to a sole proprietor, want to recover a liability, they can go to the extent of personal properties to recover their debt or their liability. So you enjoy what is called unlimited liability. So in case the business got itself into debt or liabilities, one's own properties can be used to recover or to repay the debt. So you enjoy unlimited liabilities, unlike in the case of a limited partnership or a limited liability company. Another thing is about the simplicity. From its registration to running, it enjoys quite a lot of simplicity. It doesn't have a lot of compliance requirements. It doesn't have a lot of registration requirement. It's quite a very simple form of business to register and also to run. In terms of compliance requirements, you are not required to file the annual returns, though annual returns are not the tax returns. You're not required to do a lot of registration. Just register your business and you're good to go. Very few requirements in terms of legal requirements. And also another thing is the high flexibility. What you decide to do in your business, it goes. You don't need to consult anyone. You don't need to hold a meeting. If you think this is the most strategic way for a business to go, you make that decision and you go about it. If you want to change midway, you enjoy all that. So you enjoy quite a lot of flexibility. Unlike the other forms of business where you have to sit down, you have to agree, you have maybe you need to convince your partner or your other shareholders, and that takes a bit of time, and also it's also involving, and sometimes you may not really agree on the best way forward to go about an issue. So a sole proprietor enjoys that flexibility. You want even to say, today I'm selling I'm doing this kind of business, tomorrow I want to do something different. It's as simple as that. You make that decision and you're good to go, unlike the other kind of businesses. But also it has a flip side. When you talk about flexibility, it also has a lot of over-reliance on the single owner. And especially if you open a business and you don't really build up structures where you have managers, you have employees, you have people that can who step in and provide their skills and their expertise to you in your business. So you become what is called, you become the business and the business is you. So if you don't make a decision, or you're not involved in an issue, it's almost the business grinds to a halt. So for you to do, or not to be better, when you register as sole proprietor, it's always important to, get the structures in place, hire the right people, hire the right structure to run on, so that you don't have to, the business becomes you and you become the business, and that eventually leads to the collapse or total collapse of the business. That also on the flip side of the business. Another, maybe just to go a few, also some other challenges that come with a sole proprietor kind of a business is what you've talked about, is limited capital. Most of the time when you find two or more people coming together and they want to start a business, you pull your resources together. But in the case of a sole proprietor, it's you yourself. You can only fund to the extent of your ability. You see, I can come, somebody will pull 1,000,000 shillings here, 100,000, all that, and you combine and you raise enough capital to start and run, and most likely you'll not be able to, you're not going to face cash flow issues or capital investment challenges. So in the case of a sole proprietor, unless you're well funded, you have your own source of funds, you face the limitation of accessing or having adequate capital, and that might hinder your growth, or especially in the initial stages where you need to invest a lot in in capital goods or capital items. You need to buy furniture, you might to buy equipment and all those sorts of things. So you limit yourself in terms of capital that you can that is at your disposal. The other thing we have said is about the issue of you enjoy unlimited liabilities, or you're exposed to all sorts of liabilities as a person from a business point. There's no differentiation between the company or the business and yourself, and that can be very detrimental to you. You can lose your personal belongings for someone to recover their liability that's come from the business. Maybe as I conclude, we say this is the simplest form of business that one can register. And also maybe to point out, it's a good place to start. Like if you don't have all the money to register a limited liability, which requires more money to register and more requirements, this is a good place to start, because you're allowed to convert the name that you have. XY enterprises, you can always convert it into a partnership, or even you can convert the same into a limited liability company. So it's also very easy. It's a good place to start, and also offers you, an opportunity to grow. As you grow, you can decide to change to a limited liability to enjoy, the issues of a limited liability company. It has that option. So as you make that point comes, you can always make that decision to incorporate or to register a limited liability company. Maybe as I summarize or as I conclude, you might be wondering, what are the requirements? As we've been saying earlier, you still need the 5 names. 5 names in order of preference. What does that mean? From your most preferred name to the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth name, and you register that in that order. What are the other requirements? You need an email address, you need a telephone number, you need a physical address, the building, the road, all those that concerns the owner of the business. And within a very short time, you'll have your business registered. That's the end of our series on the 3-part series. Next, we're going to tackle, we are in the filing season, the tax and the different filing issues that arise, or what are you supposed to do as a business or even as an individual. So keep tuned to this channel, Thriving SMEs, and we thank you so much for your subscription, your viewership, and your liking and commenting on our content. So we say thank you. Until next time, bye-bye.